You clicked on this video because you know deep in your heart, deep in your bones, you are meant to build a very influential and profitable personal brand on social media, but there is something in the way that's getting you from actually posting online and building that big brand for yourself. And the reason why I know this is because I used to be the same way. I wanted to build this like really big influential personal brand, but I was so worried about what everybody else would think of me, and I just started to get into this cycle of overthinking every single thing that I did. And I built my personal brand when I was 19 years old, straight out of college, and back then I had a lot of insecurity. So in this video, I'm gonna go through the top 5 ways I just completely stopped overthinking that allowed me to now build a multi-6-figure personal brand in my 20s. And if you guys are new to this channel, welcome to the fam. My name is Sabah Lee, and this channel is all about helping you build the most unforgettable life by being your own boss and make your own money so you can actually live life, because that is what life is about. Now, I want to say this first lesson really impacted me the most to stop overthinking about every single thing that I did. And this lesson is people don't care about me more than they do themselves. The reason why we overthink and we worry about every single action that we're going to be taking, the video we're going to be posting, wondering if people are going to understand it, if they're going to get it, if they're going to make fun of us, if they are going to talk shit about the way we talk, anything like that. The reason why we worry so much is because we think people care so much about us. And in reality, people don't really care about us as much as they do themselves. If not, like, they don't care about us actually at all. And to be honest, like, sometimes people might think like, oh, people don't care about me in like a negative way. But honestly, that gave me so much freedom, because I'm like, okay, if people don't really care about me at all, then why would I care about what other people think if they're just worried about themselves? And that kind of lifted a weight off my shoulder, because now when I would record something on my phone and wanted to post on social media, I didn't worry about what other people would think of me. And the thing was, people always still, judge you, will always still put hate comments on your videos. But one thing people will not do is they will not think about it for days and days and weeks and months. They will get over it pretty quickly. Like, there has been so much like news about celebrities, and people get over it like a week later and they're worried about something else in their own personal life. So if you're overthinking about what other people are going to think about you, or whether they care about what you're doing, even if it's your close friends or family, just know they are so much more worried about things that are happening in their own personal life that they could honestly care less about what you're posting on social media. Which also tells you, if you are committing to really building this online brand, this online persona that's going to impact a lot of people and make you a lot of money, you need to realize that you need to care about yourself the most. Okay, if you're worrying about everybody else, you're not going to be able to sustain this brand that you're going to build, because every single time someone does leave a hate comment, or every single time someone does give you feedback or judge you, you're just gonna take like 20 steps backwards because you're not solid in your actual core. I want to say the biggest thing that I did when I built a personal brand on social media was build like really thick skin, and honestly just like not care. When you care less, you thrive even more, because you're not worried about what everybody else is saying about you. So that's the first thing. If you want to stop overthinking in order to build this brand, just know people really don't care about you. They care about themselves a lot more, so that should give you so much more leeway to show up the way that you want to. Number 2, there are people with less talent making so much more money and making so much more of an impact than you are. And the reason why they're doing this is because they actually believe in themselves a lot more than you do. They believe that they can impact millions of people. They believe they can make millions of dollars. They believe everybody that comes across their content, their videos, they understand what they are saying. Like, they just believe in themselves so much that like their belief basically outweighs the talent that they have. Now, why I think this is like a double-edged sword is because I am in the industry of entrepreneurs, like business owners, people who want to learn how to build a personal brand and make their own money. And the crazy part is I come across so many people who have a really good skill. Like, they're so good at what they do, but they just don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that they can get on social media, start creating content, go viral, impact a lot of people. So that stops them from actually showcasing their talent and their transformation and the thing that they can actually help people with. And like, how shitty is that? Like, if you have the talent, but you don't believe you can build like the brand. You don't believe you can build the audience. You don't believe you can make the amount of money. Maybe you really, really want to, but deep in your core, you're like, oh, I don't know if it's going to work for me. Or you're like, oh, I don't know, like these other people that are doing it that have much more of a better personality, or they can speak better. Like you have all of these basically like restrictions of why you can't do certain things because you see other people doing it and you think you can't do it because you don't have what they have. When in reality, it's not even about what you have and what they have. It's more about if you actually believe you can do it. And you're smart because you clicked on this video. I know there's probably have been some point in your life where you achieved something, and you achieved that thing because you just knew full-heartedly, you were so certain in your bones that you were gonna get that thing. And lo and behold, you got it. Maybe you weren't even the best at it, but you got it because you knew it was in your destiny. So if you're sitting here thinking if like you're actually cut out to build a personal brand, you're cut out to be an influencer, you're cut out to be a business owner, just know there are people who are making more money and much more of an impact than you are and have less talent simply because they're just delusional about themselves and about their beliefs. So stop overthinking and thinking whether or not you have the talent, whether you have the skill. All you really, really, really need is the belief in yourself and the mindset that's actually going to get you from where you're at to where you want to be. And the last thing I want to say with this is it kind of goes with the phrase like ignorance is bliss. Like the less you know, the better you're off. Because if we know more, we tend to overthink more. Like for me, I always say like personal growth and development and psychology and entrepreneurship and being really, 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 really good at what you do is a double-edged sword, because the more you know, the more you know. So the more you know, the more you think, and the more you think, the more you overthink, right? So sometimes I even have to catch myself and tell myself like, okay, like just because you know all of these things does not mean it's true and does not mean it actually matters. Like sometimes I really need to just like shut off my brain and just take the action without overthinking. Otherwise I will go down the rabbit hole of like, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if people don't get it? So you just honestly need to shut your brain off and realize it's not even about having the best skill and being the best at what you do. It's more about the belief that you actually have. And number 3 is I stopped being perfect when it came to creating content and making like everything super aesthetic, even though that's not really me. One of the biggest blocks that clients first have when they come to me is I feel like I need to have this like super aesthetic profile or this super like highly edited content where I look super like sleek and clean. If I don't have that, people are just not going to follow me. And that couldn't be like further from the truth. I remember when I started to first create content on social media, I literally just had my phone and I would record content on my way to classes when I was in university. I would be on the bus creating content. Sometimes the sound would be a little bit muffled. The lighting wouldn't be the best. But the thing was, the fact that I was showing up every single day and I had a really, really, really good content, that outweighed like the perfectionisms that I thought I needed to actually build this personal brand. Now, don't get me wrong, good lighting, good audio, all of that matters. But the thing is, if you're just so hung up on the small things that you think you need to do to a point where you don't even post on social media and you're not consistent on social media, and that's actually stopping you from building a brand, you're never going to get to a point where you have this influential brand, because it's going to take you so long to actually even post one piece of content. And this is a very crucial skill that a lot of celebrities and influencers and business owners and entrepreneurs you look up to actually have, and you don't even know it. When you look at them now on social media, you're like, oh my gosh, their content is so good and so effortless. But behind the scenes, they're just like creating content. Like one thing that I always do, and something I always teach my clients, is like 80% and go. If it's 80% done and if it's like 80% perfect, just post, just go do it, right? Because if you're always waiting until the 90% or the 95 or even like the 100%, just think about it. If it takes you 3 days to record one 30-second video, Just imagine if you posted on the first day, and then after you posted, you record another one, and as you recorded, you got even better and better and better. And then lo and behold, you post like 5 videos in 3 days instead of waiting to post that one video to make it perfect. You would get so much more reach and so much more visibility posting those 5 videos versus just having that one perfect video. And you definitely do not need that aesthetic feed, right? Like on Pinterest and sometimes Instagram feeds too. I mean, like if that's your cup of tea, do it. But for me, as long as I have like matching colors and it looks semi-cohesive, that's good for me. I don't need to have super edited, super neutral, super like, flowy content that just like, looks like something that took hours and hours and hours to edit, because that's just not me and that's not my personal brand. Now, number 4 has been one of the most game-changing things that I have done for my business and for my brand. And it is implementing the second I think of an idea or action, so I don't even have the time to overthink. You know the moment when you think of an idea and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, I want to do this. And then you wait like a few minutes or a few hours or even a few days, and then overthinking starts to creep in. You're like, oh, but like, what about this? Or what if it doesn't work the way I want it to? Or maybe I should wait until this happens. And then the spark of the new idea just basically disappears, and all you're thinking about is the fear of taking that action, and then you just end up not even doing it. Yeah, don't do that anymore. I just basically eliminated the gap of me even thinking or overthinking about the new idea. I just go straight into action. So nowadays, if I have a content idea that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good, and it's maybe like a reel that I can just record on my phone, I will literally pull out my phone and hit record. And once again, this just works so much more better, because when you're in the actual energy of the new idea, of the new action, people can feel that. People can feel your magnetism. But imagine if I waited to record that idea or that topic, that magnetism, that sparkle, that magic just like wouldn't be there, right? Because I would probably be thinking of, is this topic even something people actually want to listen to? When in reality, like they do, I'm just overthinking it, And I know this happens to a lot of people when they're creating content, and when they're about to hit post, they're like, wait, should I change something? Should I make it a little bit more general, right? Should I maybe take this sentence out? Is it gonna trigger people? Like, don't do that. Don't do that. You're literally taking away your own authenticity. You're taking away your own personality. And the thing is, the thing that you think you need to hide is what is actually going to make you the most alive on social media. And I promise you that if you think you're too much, if you think you're too loud, if you think you're too sassy, that's what you actually need to share. And that's what you need to post. Because if you think of all of the celebrities you look up to, if you think of all the influencers you look up to, all the business owners, everybody, the reason why they're at the top is because they are themselves 100% of the time. They are not acting, they're not faking, they're not filtering, they're not dimming anything. They are themselves. And they're definitely not overthinking whether or not they're being too much on social media. So for you, just go do. Don't even think about whether it's the right action to take or not. What you need to worry about is if you're actually showing up as your true authentic self. Now, number 5 was such a game changer for me. And it is, I do not need to be the best, but I have to value myself the most. And this kind of went hand in hand with what I said prior of like, there's people out there that have less talent than you that are making more money than you. And the reason why this feels just really good for me and allowed me to stop overthinking is because if I just value myself the most, I just know I'm the best just because I'm alive, just because I have my own knowledge, my own experiences, my own stories, my own skill sets. If I know that for a fact, every single time I show up on social media, I know other people are going to value me, right? And even though there's always going to be someone better than you, if you value yourself the most, that is what other people are going to look at you as too, right? So think about it. If you don't think that you're beautiful, or you don't think that you're lovable, you don't think that people are going to take you seriously, they're not, because you're going to show up in that way. You're going to show up in that energy. So Of course, if you're posting on social media and you believe that about yourself, you believe you're not worthy, you believe people aren't going to watch you, you believe you're only going to get 200 views every single time you post a video, guess what? That's actually going to happen because your belief equals your reality. There's no other way around it. And I hear people, talk about this all the time. They're like, oh, if I looked like her, or if I spoke like her, or if I had the same amount of results like her, I would get the fame and the money and the followers and the audience. But that's not the reason why that girl or that guy has the fame. The reason why is because they actually believe they can get it, and so they do. I will tell you guys, I have been in the online industry for quite a few years now, and I have purchased products from people that are making multi-millions of dollars a year, and their products are shit. Their frameworks are bad. My products are so much better than theirs. And the reason why people keep buying them and the reason why people keep praising them is because they just believe they're the best. And that's why they succeed, right? So instead of hating on the people that are making so much more money and be like, oh, it's not fair, rich people are bad people. No, the reason why they're rich and the reason why they're succeeding is because they believe they can and you believe that you can't, right? And if you think that way, just know it's not true, right? Because you're watching this video to better yourself, right? And if you're watching this video thinking like, oh, it's not gonna work for me, this video isn't gonna even work, just click off, right? Because my entire channel is for people that know they are meant for big things. They know they're meant to build their own income. They know they're meant to build a really, really, really big impact, right? And that's why I create these type of videos, to really help get you to your destination, to get you to a place where you are always operating as your highest self, right? So this last thing of getting out of your way and stop overthinking to build your personal brand comes down to you really valuing yourself. You do not have to be the best, because there's always going to be someone out there that is probably a little bit better than you are, and being okay with that, right? Because you don't need to be the best. You don't need to know everything in order to succeed. You just need to know you're of value, and thus people will feel that through the screen and they will follow you, they will root for you, and of course they will buy from you. So these are the top 5 ways that I stopped overthinking, and you're going to stop overthinking to finally build the most influential and profitable brand on social media. And of course, I teach my clients and everybody how to do this step by step in my online community, Monetize Social Membership. So if you want the link to join, it's in the description below. So that's all for today. Comment below and let me know, what action are you going to take today since you are done overthinking and everything that was in your way is just out of there. Okay, it's done, it's out of there. So comment below, let me know, what action are you going to be taking today to build your personal brand online. So until next video, make sure that you guys stay unforgettable.